The works of human artifice soon tire the curious eye. The fountain's sparkling rill and gardens, when adorned by human skill, reproach the feeble hand, the vain desire. But oh, the free and wild magnificence of nature in her lavish hours doth steal, in admiration silent and intense, the soul of him who hath a soul to feel. The river moving on its ceaseless way, the verdant reach of meadows fair and green, and the blue sky that bounds the sylvan scene, these speak of grandeur that defies decay. Built on both banks of a lake is a beautiful city. Beautiful in its antiquity, beautiful in its modernity. Held together with artistic bridges, its two halves comprise the largest city in Switzerland, Zurich. But this city is not the only beautiful spot in Switzerland. Nature is always generous and has freely endowed this little country with numerous jewels of scenic beauty. In fact, Switzerland is like an over-full jewel box. Open the lid and jewels are scattered in all directions. To find these jewels, we must travel. Let's enter this car and proceed in search of them. Over one of the bridges which joins the two halves of the city, we cross the lake and carefully glide past the gaily colored trams, and picking up speed, are soon heading along the east bank of Lake Zurich. Over another bridge, past the statue of Burgomaster Waldmann, and so on to the outskirts. Fine, wide roads lined with trees of various foliage give us an open invitation to the country which lies beyond Zurich, and before long we are clear of the built-up areas. Through little hamlets where the craftsman's art is displayed on the pavement, we soon see the imposing clock tower which dominates the village of Zug. Staying long enough to sample the Zuger Kirche, for which it is famous, we thread our way through this medieval town towards Luzern, where the well-known twin spires of the cathedral are such a landmark and inform us that we've reached this famous holiday center. Like so many of the larger Swiss towns, it's built on the shores of a lake, and it is this and the surrounding mountains which have such an attraction for tourists. Actually, Luzern is very ancient. It dates back as far as 740 AD. The old bridge crossing the lake, which is such a feature of the town, is of considerable antiquity. Painted in the roof of this bridge are noted events of history connected with Luzern. Rows of gaily painted cafes line the lakeside, and varied and harmonious are the songs heard here. Occasionally, a herd of cattle for the market will provide an accompaniment of bell music, which, if not in tune, at least adds to the cacophony of sounds which all spell happiness at a holiday resort. In contrast are the modern statues and the very beautiful fountain nearby. At regular intervals during the summer months, boatloads of holidaymakers glide away across the lake, their songs echoing from the distant mountains to the villages away and beyond. Villages like Kusnacht, where the road narrows and is made even narrower by the heavy shadows. Soon we feel the warmth and sunshine of the Riviera of Lake Luzern, Weggis, where tropical flowers grow and figs ripen on the lakeside. With the road sign pointing to St. Gotthard, we enter Brunnen, the gateway to the heart of Switzerland. Nestling in the eastern corner of Lake Luzern, it is surrounded by mountains from which the morning mists descend and cover it with a delicate mantle. From vantage points high in the mountains, the morning and evening view up the lake are gems of artistic beauty and color, pictures that remain long in the memory. From Brunnen, the road follows the lakeside and is often nothing more than a ledge at the base of a cliff. It's easy to visualize how long and difficult the road across country must have been before these lakeside roads were constructed. In places, the road is almost at water level, whilst at others, it is perched high above the shimmering lake. Sometimes the cliff has been tunneled through, with picturesque results, such as at the famous Axenstrasse. Here the road passes through the cliff on the edge of the lake. On the side nearest the water, openings have been cut in the wall of the tunnel. Leaving this much photographed spot, we soon reach Luzern, with its charming little church located high on the hillside. Altdorf, a typically Swiss village, is one of the objectives of most tourists because it is the place where William Tell and his son are honored. Many of the Swiss valleys are surprisingly beautiful, beautiful in the color of unadorned nature. The Reuss Valley is a jewel of unsurpassed beauty, satisfying alike to sight and mind. Avoiding the direct road to the St. Gotthard, we turn right and start the long pull up the Susten Pass. This is the newest of the Swiss passes. It was built during the last war and opened in 1946. At the bottom, precipitous gorges have been spanned by symmetrical bridges, and the road carried on through tunnels bored through the mountainside before reaching the main pass. The road has been cleverly designed and the gradients are not excessive. The pass gives us our first opportunity of really trying out the Morris Oxford Saloon in which we are riding. Each Swiss pass is different. In some, the road twists and turns in a series of short rises. Others are just long pulls gradually reaching the top. The Susten starts with a long pull, and then for the last rise sweeps from side to side of the valley, one section passing above the previous one in steadily rising ribbons of road. Excellently surveyed and built with great skill, this latest crossing of the Swiss mountains is indeed a credit to her road engineers. For any car engine, the Susten is a long, incessant drag. But the Oxford, superb car that it is, never hesitates, and shortly its passengers are on the parking place thoughtfully provided at the top. Here, and at places on the way up where good views are obtained, the children supplement their pocket money by selling bunches of wildflowers gathered from the mountains. The views whilst ascending and from the top of these Swiss passes are worthwhile rewards for the arduous climb entailed. The descent from the top of the Susten Pass down to the Our Valley is very beautiful and is a favorite rendezvous for weekend travelers. Down past Heaven's Corner, it falls in gentle slopes on ledges cut from the side of the mountain. Unlike the other side, it is heavily wooded, which makes it peculiarly attractive for picnic parties. Down, down through tunnels and enchanting scenes, it eventually reaches the valley with the pass towering high above. Finally, it passes by a beautiful viaduct over the Wendenwasser. In direct contrast to the harshness of the mountain pass, we now enter the lovely home of the wood carvers of Switzerland, the village of Brienz. A jewel of unsurpassed beauty, it seems to glow in the evening sun. It's a charming village, each house carrying wonderful examples of the woodcarver's art. Yes, Brienz is a village that will always remain a picture, alas, of a fading craft. One of the better-known Swiss towns is Interlaken, which is located between the lakes of Brienz and Thun. Thousands of tourists visit this town every year, and one of the outstanding memories they take with them is the floral clock. The other is, of course, the wonderful view of the Jungfrau, Eiger and Münch mountains. The carved wood signposts produced in Brienz are often met, and this particular one, with its handsome fish, announces the Blue Lake. Here, nestling in a deep wood, is an enchanting pool, clear and sparkling, yet as blue as the sky. It's full of trout of all sizes, trout so tame that they gather in shoals when anybody approaches, obviously anticipating the morsel of food that visitors usually bring. Truly one of the brighter jewels in Switzerland's jewel box. In the mountainous districts, the peasants hold goat markets, and much argument goes on before a good animal changes hands. Nor are the peasants the only ones to argue. Actually, while being very useful, these animals are also extremely intelligent. The mountains of Switzerland divide the country into separate areas, each area having its characteristics both as to scenery and language. Thus we cross the picturesque but easy-graded Col du Pion from German-speaking into French-speaking Switzerland. An old pass, it's covered with trees and the road is a mere ledge cut from the side of a steep gorge. Far below can be heard the rushing of water as the river, fed by small waterfalls, makes its headlong way. Into French Switzerland, we are immediately in the grape country, with vine terraces all around, even down to the edge of the road. Through Aigle and Yvonne, noted for their wine, we are soon pausing on the lovely flower-strewn front at Montreux, the well-known international holiday resort on the edge of Lake Geneva. Owing to its fine, warm weather, Montreux is often referred to as the French Swiss Riviera. To the student of history, Montreux can offer the fine old Château de Chillon, an architectural jewel. This beautiful exterior, however, hides an interior steeped in the emotions of mankind, emotions from love and chivalry to cruelty of the worst type. From Montreux, we head towards the valley of the Rhone, and crossing the river by an old bridge, we see the fertile valley laid out before us. Stretching for miles on the banks of the river, it is the biggest fruit-growing area of Switzerland. Through the center of this fertile area is a very fine road, and on both sides of it are orchards which produce large crops of hard and soft fruits according to the season. At the other end of the valley, Vineyards replace the fruit orchards. These are cultivated in terraces rising up the hillsides. Here are grown the grapes from which the wine, for which the region is famous, is produced.